welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some palettes that are perfect for spring. So I've kind of gone through my collection and I think these are pretty solid. I definitely, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 top palettes for spring. And I kind of had more of a range of these all the way from kind of like work to fun, to more creative, to just everyday. I think I have a good range of everything in here. I feel like most people get the top 5, but I feel like not everybody may have they may have like 1 out of the 5 palettes or 3 out of the 5 palettes. So I went ahead and just did my top 10. So I feel like somebody somewhere is gonna have one of these palettes. So I think it's a good range. So what I have on my face today, sorry, my hair is a hot mess, but whatever, it's quarantine hair, we don't care. What I have on my face today, for makeup wise, I had somebody ask over on my Instagram, can I please record the makeup that I have on my face when I do film, and I'll put that stuff down below, but most of it is just kind of my, whatchamacallit, Project Pan stuff. So although today I've got the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I've been testing this out. I don't really know how I like it. It says hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer, but I find it's kind of a little more like drying on my skin. So I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm still testing it out. And to put a little bit more coverage, I have the Neutrogena Hydro Boost foundation stick in the shade Nude 40. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh was in the shade Light 5N. So I have that on. I feel like my skin kind of just feels, I don't know, maybe like a little bit heavy. I don't really know how I like it, but still testing. I've got the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 15 Fair. I've got, whoops, things are falling. I've got my Revlon Photo Ready Translucent Powder under my eyes and to set my face. And then I have the Chanel Cream Bronzer in Soleil Tan de Chanel. Or that is the name of the product. On top of that, I've got my TwoFaced Matte Bronzer. I'm wearing my Tarte blush and my Benefit Gold Rush blush, and then I kind of layered those on top. And then I've got my Mary Luminizer highlighter on, my erase paste for underneath my eyes to color correct. I prepped my skin with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer and my Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil because I knew the Pretty Fresh had been more dry on my skin previously, so I went ahead and put these two together. Then I have just the Too Faced Natural Eyes, my old palette that I'm painting currently, just something simple just on my eyes. And then I have my Hank and Henry eyeliner and my Tarteist lash paint. I think it's, yeah, lash paint from Tarte. So one of the only few non-waterproof ones that I own. So I'm trying to use it up, and I'm worried if I cry today, it's gonna go everywhere. And then to set my face, I've got the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Dew Mist, and then the Milani Make It Dewy. So, oh yeah, on my lips, I've got my, what is the name of this? It's the Color Riche Plump and Shine in the shade 103 Lychee Plump. Just kind of like a nice, balm. And then I'm wearing my Victoria's Secret Bombshell Seduction, which is almost gone. So yeah, so that's all that I have on my face today. And so I'm going to go ahead and just set this off to the side, and then I will go ahead and show you what I have for my palettes for springtime. Okay, so I went ahead and put everything away. Sorry about that. I had to crack my window as well because it just got a little hot in here. Granted, I have a Sherpa on, but got a little toasty. And now my bedroom door is gonna, see, she's opening, and oh, that's because my dog. Jackson. Hi. Hello. All right, let me go put them up real quick. Okay, we're back. We're settled. Sorry. I know that was like 3 and almost 4 minutes of just rambling and stuff, but now we're good to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my palettes. So, first up, I have 2 from, I have 3 from Tarte. 3 from Tarte. But the first 2, this one is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. I know it got discontinued. Some people still may have this palette, but I really do enjoy this. It only has 1 matte shade, and then the rest are shimmers, and it's got this really pretty highlighter in the center. I love it just throwing this into the crease, and then just kind of using just different shades. They're all super pretty, and they're more on the pastel-y side. So to me, spring is very much like pinks, purples, pastels, peaches, that kind of thing. So yeah, this is a really great palette. If you have this, it's a great one for spring. I know, again, it's limited edition. Not a lot of people can get it. But if you do have it, I do highly recommend it for spring. It's just really simple and effortless. You don't really have to think about it. The second one that I have from Tarte, which is another round palette, is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust. Again, okay, if you watched my last video and I told you that my nose itches when I have a full face of makeup. It's true, and it's happening again. Without fail. Without fail. Okay. This is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette, and I love this for springtime. So it has a few matte shades in here. It's got that one. Let me see. So it's got 1, 2, 3 right here. Those 3. And then those 3 right there. And then it's got 2 shimmers on each side and then a highlighter again in the center. I love this palette. You can get so many effortless looks. Very kind of cool toned, light peachy, not really peachy, but more pinky mauve. Mauve. I don't know. People have been like criticizing the way people say mauve now. And it's like, it's mauve. Like, no, it's mauve. All right. It's not a thing. It's mauve. So anyway. This palette is great. I absolutely love this for springtime. I'm excited to pull it back out and use it. So yeah, I know these 2 were limited edition and they're discontinued. I don't know if you can still get these anywhere. I don't think so. But if you have these, they're really good for spring. So I thought I'd just mention those. The next 2 I have are more for that working gal appropriate. Now I know with it being quarantine, not everybody is going to work, obviously. But for those of you that are going to work or are having like Zoom meetings or any type of like just online meeting and you want to still look professional, but not, you know, still springtime, but have that professional kind of essence to you, I picked these 2 palettes that I think will work really well. So this is the Tartelette in Bloom palette by Tarte. This is one of my favorite go-to palettes. I travel with this just because it is so great. As you can see, I've hit shade on Flower Child. Yep, Flower Child. And I'm almost hit pan on Smarty Pants. And there's a huge dip right here in Funny Girl. But this is just a nice, effortless palette. It's again that cool toned but still has that kind of pinky-ish vibes to it. I love it. It's so great. I love the shade Rebel too, to put in the outer corner right here, Rebel. It is just absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. You can also transition this to a nighttime look really easily with this palette. So the Tartelette in Bloom, highly recommend. It is fantastic. So the other kind of working girl friendly, and working girl I mean by like just any woman that works, any job, not working girl as like some people may think what working girl, because I know that's like a derogatory term that was used a while back ago, but whatever, I'm getting sidetracked and I'm rambling. But working girl just meaning you have a job and you need a corporate look, I guess you could say, but still be a little more springy. I wanted to clarify that. So the other palette that I have for the woman that goes to work is the Lorac Pro 3 palette. This palette, so this is actually really new to my collection. I just got this from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, but I love the shades in this. They're that kind of light pinky, like kind of blush tones, but you still have a few of these down here that are a little bit slightly more warm. I think you could do a lot of good stuff with. So just these right here are what I was talking about, kind of the matte shades that are good for kind of everyday, simple but sophisticated looks. And then any of these shimmers down here are great. Then of course you could deepen it up if you have like darker hair, something like that. Because with me, with my blonde hair, I can't really use darker looking shadows on my eyes unless it's more nighttime. Otherwise it kind of shuts down my eyes and I look really like dark. But I think this is a really great palette just for those kind of everyday looks. But if you're not into some of the other palettes I'm going to show that are a little bit more bright, this could be right up your tone, right up your alley with tone. It just gives that very sophisticated, light, springy look. It's also good for more mature eyes. I think a lot of people can pull this palette off. I really do. I've been enjoying this so much. So highly recommend that one as well. The next 2 I have are 2 Anasazi Beverly Hills palettes. So this one is the Carly Bible palette. I know I feel like people have a love or hate relationship with this palette, right? Still have my brushes in there. I still keep all the brushes in all the palettes, but this one is fantastic. I love this for a little bit more pop of color. So again, even just throwing like this shade into the crease or this one and like this all over the lid, I think it's got a bit of a sparkle to it, but just throwing these 2 or even this one into the crease and any one of these shades, I don't know, for some reason this just looks very springtime to me. It's kind of got those pastel-y vibes, not as intense, still good color, but not as like, I guess deep or as warm as you're looking. Still more on kind of that cool tonish side. I really feel this palette is, I mean, it's great. Yeah, I just feel you can do so much with this palette. So many different looks. You go tone it down, dress it up, however you like. I think it's a really good palette. I think it's kind of underrated. I know, again, like not a whole lot of people love it. But there are, I don't know, I feel like you have to be kind of gentle with the shades, if you will. Otherwise it can go too crazy too fast. But highly recommend Carly Bible palette. Anasazi Beverly Hills. This next one, she has been through the ringer. My God. So this is the Anasazi Beverly Hills Norvina palette. As you can see, mine is filthy dirty because I have loved on her tremendously. You're about to see here in a second the damage that I've done on her. Woo, look at that. I have gone ham with those shimmers. So this to me is just perfect for spring. It's really got those cool tone based shades of maybe like a slight little bit of warmth right there. But yeah, I went ham on the shade Rose Gold and Dazzling. I've hit pan on both of those because I think, and because I would use them for more of that kind of evening-ish look, and they're just stunning. I would dip into this palette just for those shades to create an evening look because they're so punchy. It's beautiful. But if you take the shade Love and Wild Child, put this in the crease and not in the lid, beautiful, just monochromatic pink toned eye. You can put Soul in the crease and Celestial. This is kind of a periwinkle bluish purple. Put that in the crease, that on the lid, and be this in the outer corner drama with a little bit of passion. You can create so many fun pink purple looks with this palette. Although if you just want to go neutral, you put base as all over your base, and then Incense and maybe Dreamer and Summer on the lid, Dazzling of course in the lid, and then Violet, Eccentric, Passion. Any one of those, you can create a really cool neutral look with this as well. I just enjoy this palette. It's just so versatile, and the formula is brilliant. I hands down love it. I just can't go without it. The next two palettes that I have are both from Too Faced. This one's probably not going to be surprising to anybody because I know a lot of people recommend this one in the recommendations video, but it is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I love this palette. Of course it smells like peaches, and I love it. This was like a cult favorite when it came out and released. But there's so many really pretty shades in here that it still has those kind of colorful shades, but they're more muted, so you're able to get away if you don't like to play with color or bold color that much, say is with like the Anastasia palette or the ones that I'm about to bring up here in a second, which are like, whoa. If you don't want to play with more color like this, you can still go with something like this that kind of gives you that warmth, light pastel-y kind of peachy tones to it, but without as much like boom color, not as like noticeable on your eyes when you're like, say, walking up to somebody, they're like, whoa, she's got color, you know, kind of thing. It's just, this is more subtle. I just think this is a great formula. This is like, I feel like everybody's springtime staple, at least in my opinion, but I love this palette. I use it all the time. I travel with it. It's just, it's beautiful. This one, I think I'm going to get mixed feelings about this. So I feel like if you've been on YouTube, if you've been in knowing makeup for any amount of time, you've probably heard of this palette, or you probably own this palette at some point. A lot of people have declared this palette. Me, I think I'm in the minority with it. But it's just, oh, for springtime, it just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I took this palette when I traveled to Paris because it was just, I don't know, something about it just makes me, okay, it's the TwoFaced Bon Bons palette. I don't know why people declutter this. I love it. I don't know if it's just my formula is just bomb or what, but it's just all very cool tone. And of course, if you take out these like big pops right here, it's just like a very wearable, cool tone palette. And I feel you can get so many wearable daytime looks out of this. And of course, the pink and the blue can spice it up a bit, or this purple here on the end. But for the majority, they're just really nice, cool tone shades. And I don't know why people just don't reach for this. I feel like it looks so good on so many different skin tones. I've used this on a bunch of my friends. They actually have deeper skin tones, medium to deeper. And if you use some of these deeper shades with it, and this purple right here looks stunning, and this pink looks stunning on deeper skin tones. I don't know, this for the inner corner highlight, it's beautiful. I don't know why people, excuse me, declutter it. It just, ugh. I love it. I love it. I highly recommend this. If you still have it, for those of you that still have it, please don't get rid of it. Just send it to me. Because I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Don't declutter. Pass it on to people who love it. Okay, so these last two are kind of maybe, one of them is controversial-ish, and the other one is maybe not a fan favorite. I know people who love this palette and people who hate it. But it's the Naked Cherry by Urban Decay. So this is a very pink, take the brush out. This is a very pink palette, okay? It's cherry themed. This definitely has a bit more punchy, pinky tones to it, more color. It's got a little more warmth to it. I definitely use that half of the palette way more often. And then when I want to go for like a romantic, I definitely like going on this side of the palette. Although I feel like if you just use this side, like you can get, look at that. I feel like that's a very springy, kind of light, very workable everyday palette, right? Like that to me feels like it would sit well with a lot of people. And then of course, if you want to go to nighttime, just hit those deeper colors, or if you want to go something a little more bold. I think this is a very workable and versatile palette. I think you can do a lot with this palette. I know some people just are like, I get the same look with it. Now I find the Urban Decay Naked Heat, I can kind of get the same looks with it, just depending on what shades I use. Like I really have to go basic or like really intricate with the deep to really kind of have, you know, to not have the same look with this. I feel like I don't really ever get the same look with this. I feel like I can get pretty versatile with this. So there's a burp, excuse me. I highly recommend this one as well. The last one, I'm gonna put the brush back in it. The last one is kind of controversial. And I remember when it came out for release, I was like, oh my God, I have to have it. It's from Melt Cosmetics. Now I have all of Melt's palettes except for the new Rust palette and there's a new one coming out. It's I believe it's the 420. It's the 420 palette. It's weed themed. I'm not into weed makeup. I know I have the Milk Hydro Grip, which it's like cannabis base, which is supposed to make it sticky. I actually hate that primer. It's in my project pan right now. I'm sorry, Milk, if you're watching this. I do like a lot of your products, but I hate the Hydro Grip primer. It's just, anyway, sorry. If you love that, that's your holy grail. Good for you. I'm glad you have something that you like. But only other cannabis weed themed thing that I have comes from Melt, and it's a Smoke Sessions palette. This is by no means for spraying, although this is my go-to St. Patty's Day palette. Cause I mean, come on, why wouldn't it be? Granted, it's got marijuana leaves all over it. I couldn't care less about the fact that it's got marijuana on it. I just like it for the colors, and the colors are stunning, and the formula is great. But they're coming out with the 24 palette, so it's to go along with like the weed themed kind of thing. It doesn't bug me one bit or the other if it is or it isn't. I just care about what the colors look like, what the formula is. But anyway, sidetracking. There's only 2 palettes from Melt that I don't have. I was gonna pull. Oh, I'll do that in a second. I was going to talk about the one that I'm actually going to talk about for this video. So it's the Millennial Pink palette. A lot of people have had a lot of difficulty with this palette, and when I first got it, I did as well. So I like the challenge of difficult shadows, right? I feel it's a good challenge. For me, it's like having kind of like an art background. I like things that are more difficult to work with. I really try to figure out ways to make them work. Anyway, this palette, it's absolutely beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I figured the trick with this is for any of the shimmers on here, I have to use my finger and I have to use light layers at a time, and I have to build it up to get, now these colors can really have like an intense payout with the shimmers. I love it, but when I first went in, I went in with this one like ham the first time I got it, right? And it looked chunky on my eyes, and my eyes are I'm getting a little bit older, so I've kind of got like a little more lines and stuff on my eyes, so it was just kind of catching in those lines, and it wasn't looking good. And I tried to wet my brush, and that made it look worse, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this palette just it's flopping for me, and I hate it because I love all the other palettes. But if I use light layers on my finger, just kind of pat, and then I go back in and just build up. I take my time and build the shimmers in the lid. It is a beautiful standout palette. And oh my gosh, the colors, they're gorgeous. They're a little bit more difficult to blend because the pigment is more rich in these shadows than Melt Cosmetics formula. It's just a lot more pigment to it, so you really have to take your time and make sure you have a good base down, and you're going to spend a little bit of time blending, but it's so worth it because the shadows they come out beautiful on the eyes. I love that you can do, again, a lighter and then go into these shades right here and make it a little more deep, and they're kind of a grayish, blackish kind of color. So again, beautiful, beautiful palette. That was in my declutter as like a product that I needed to try a little bit more. I wasn't sure. It was on the chopping block. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it or not because it was kind of irritating me, but I do realize that I want to keep it. So I have one honorable mention for you guys. Is it this one? Yes. So this one definitely screams summer to me, but I actually did a look with it the other day, and I was just like, oh, I'm living my best spring life, and it was so colorful, it was ridiculous. But this is the Melt Cosmetics Vita palette. This thing, oh, the colors, my love, look at the colors. Oh, is that not beautiful? Gorgeous. I did it a little bit more, this kind of orangey, pinky tones right here. I'm in love. Be Still My Beating Heart. These shades right here are really good for like the kind of neutral if you want to tone or just deepen up a little bit this outer corner. But oh, this is gonna be a really like showstopper for summer. I have a good feeling. So anyway, that's my honorable mention for spring palettes. But those are all I have. I have 10. Those are my top 10 spring palettes. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you have any of these palettes, which ones you recommend, which ones you like, which ones you actually hate. I want to know. Let me know. So yeah, hope you guys are staying safe. I will see you in my next video coming up, which will be a shop my stash for springtime. And spoiler alert, some of these are going to be in it. Okay. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, weekend, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And yeah, I will see you very, very soon. Bye.